Hi everyone, I'm Linda Reimer, one of the librarians at the Southeast Bend County Library. Welcome to Library Connections, our weekly readers and listeners advisory video cast. Enjoy. Library Connections number 122. This is the Friday, November 11th, 2022 edition of Library Connections. Jumping right in with the top 5 fiction bestsellers for this week from the New York Times. At number 1, It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. In the sequel to It Ends With Us, Lily deals with her jealous ex-husband as she reconnects with her first boyfriend. At number 2, Going Rogue by Janet Ivanovich, the 29th book in the Stephanie Plum series. The man who abducted the office manager at Vinnie's bail bonds demands a mysterious coin in exchange for her. At number 3, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. A battered wife raised in a violent home attempts to halt the cycle of abuse. At number 4, Triple Cross by James Patterson. Detective Alex Cross and the true crime author Thomas Tull search for a serial killer known as the Family Man. And at number 5, The Boys from Biloxi by John Grisham. Two childhood friends follow in their father's footsteps, which puts them on opposite sides of the law. Moving on to the top 5 nonfiction bestsellers for this week. At number 1, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry. The actor, known for playing Chandler Bing on Friends, shares stories from his childhood and his struggles with sobriety. At number 2, Surrender by Bono. The lead singer of the Irish rock band U2 offers details of his life, career, and activism. At number 3, The Philosophy of Modern Song by Bob Dylan. In a collection of more than 60 essays, the musician and winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature explores the nature of popular music. At number 4, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. The actress and filmmaker describes her eating disorders and difficult relationship with her mother. And at number 5, Cinema Speculation by Quentin Tarantino. The filmmaker shares his love of cinema with special attention given to key American films of the 1970s. Our first recommended read for this week is the memoir by Eileen Collins. It's called Through the Glass Ceiling to the Stars, the story of the first American woman to command a space mission. The long-awaited memoir of a trailblazer and role model who is telling her story for the first time. Eileen Collins was an aviation pioneer her entire career. From her crowning achievements as the first woman to command an American space mission, as well as the first to pilot the space shuttle, to her early years as one of the Air Force's first female pilots. She was in the first class of women to earn pilot's wings at Vance Air Force Base and was their first female instructor pilot. She was only the second woman pilot admitted to the Air Force's elite test pilot program at Edwards Air Force Base. NASA had such confidence in her skills as a leader and pilot that she was entrusted to command the first shuttle mission after the Columbia disaster, returning the U.S. to spaceflight after a 2-year hiatus. Since retiring from the Air Force and NASA, she has served on numerous corporate boards and is an inspirational speaker about space exploration and leadership. Eileen Collins is among the most recognized and admired women in the world, yet this is the first time she has told her story in a book. It is a story not only of achievement and overcoming obstacles, but of profound personal transformation. The shy, quiet child of an alcoholic father and struggling single mother who grew up in modest circumstances and was an unremarkable student, she had few prospects when she graduated from high school, but she changed her life to pursue her secret dream of becoming an astronaut. She shares her leadership and life lessons throughout the book with the aim of inspiring and passing on her legacy to a new generation. Our second recommended read for this week is also the story of a personal journey. In this case, it's Waypoints, My Scottish Journey by the actor Sam Heughan. Journey deep into the Scottish Highlands in the first memoir by #1 New York Times bestselling author and award-winning star of Outlander, Sam Heughan, exploring his life and reflecting on the waypoints that define him. I had to believe, because frankly, I had come so far, there could be no turning back, he says. In this intimate journey of self-discovery, Sam sets out along Scotland's rugged 96-mile West Highland Way to map out the moments that shaped his views on dreams and ambition, family, friendship, love, and life. The result is a love letter to the wild landscape that means so much to him, full of charming, funny, wise, and searching insights into the world through his eyes. Waypoints is a deeply personal journey that reveals as much about Sam to himself as it does to his readers. So we're on a memoir kick this week. We've got the Eileen Collins story and Sam Heughan's story in Waypoints. Moving on to another personal story, our first audiobook recommendation is the story of Ida Keeling. It's her memoir, Can't Nothing Bring Me Down. The audio is read by Lisa Renee Pitts. Can't Nothing Bring Me Down is the memoir of a 101-year-old world record-holding runner, Ida Keeling. Miss Ida, as she's known throughout her Bronx community, isn't your typical runner. Her fierce independence helped her through the Depression and the Civil Rights Movement. But her greatest trials were yet to come. Ida's 2 sons were brutally murdered. Justice was never found. Ida felt like she didn't have the strength to carry on, and she couldn't hope anymore. But encouraged by her daughter, Ida put on her first pair of running shoes at the age of 67 and began to chase the paralyzing sorrow from her heart. Running gave light and new energy to Ida, and since her first race nearly 35 years ago, she's kept running and never looked back. Holding the world record for the fastest time in the 60-meter dash for the 95 to 99 age group, Ida isn't slowing down. Now she gives us a clear picture of what it means to overcome obstacles. Ida Keeling shares her inspirational story about growing up as a child of immigrants during the Depression and later raising 4 children as a single mother. She offers time-tested truths gathered from a lifetime of watching a nation change and from her lifelong Christian faith. So if you're looking for an inspirational memoir, check out this one. Moving on to our second audiobook recommendation for this week. This one too is nonfiction, although it isn't a memoir. It's called The Mother Tongue, English and How It Got That Way by the humorous nonfiction author Bill Bryson. The audio is read by Stephen McLaughlin. With dazzling wit and astonishing insight, Bill Bryson, the acclaimed author of The Lost Continent, brilliantly explores the remarkable history, eccentricities, resilience, and sheer fun of the English language. From the first descent of the larynx into the throat, which is why you can talk but your dog can't, to the fine lost art of swearing, Bryson tells the fascinating, often uproarious story of an inadequate, second-rate tongue of peasants that developed into one of the world's largest growth industries. Want more reading, listening, and viewing recommendations? Check out the Tech and Book Talk blog, which offers weekly and monthly recommendations, and the back catalog of Library Connections videos found on the Southeast Steuben County Library's YouTube channel. Moving on to our next section, next week at the library. We'll take a brief look at the events and activities hosted by the library for the week ahead of us. This time around, that's the week of November 14th through the 18th, 2022. This info is also found online. Simply visit the library's website, located at ssclibrary.org, and click on the big bold calendar link you'll see located near the top of the page. And on a registration note, registration is required for programs unless otherwise specified, or unless the program is of the online, on-demand variety, in which case, please just help yourself. You can register for programs through the library's website, by calling the library, or just plain dropping by. On Monday, November 14th, we've got one program at the library. From 5:30 to 6:30 p.m., it's Healthy Holidays, a free nutrition workshop with a food demo. This is a partnership program co-hosted by the library and SNAP Ed. To register for the program this time around, you want to contact the host of the program who works for SNAP Ed, Katie Weigel. Email address is listed here, as is the phone number. On Tuesday, November 15th, we have a whole host of programs at the library. Tuesday is always our busiest programs day, or almost always. So kicking things off with Adult Scrabble from 9 to 11 a.m. That program is held in the library's reading room. Then from 9:15 to 10:15 a.m., we have Coffee, Tea, and English Vocabulary. This is an Adult Learners of English series, and the program is held both in person at the library and online via Zoom. Then from 10 to 10:30 a.m., we've got Story Time with Miss Sue, which will be held in the Children's Department on the second floor of the library. And then from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m., there's Coffee, Tea, and English Conversation. This too is a hybrid program held both at the library in person and via Zoom. Moving on to the afternoon and evening programs for Tuesday, November 15th. From noon to 1 p.m., it's the LSC Author Talk with lawyer, professor, and best-selling author Kwame Christian, who will talk about his book, How to Have Difficult Conversations About Race. This is an online-only program, and registration is required. Then from 3 to 4:30 p.m., we've got GATLIS, Gay at the Library After School. This is a partnership program between the library and Planned Parenthood of Greater New York, Carmen Greco will be your host, and the program offers a safe and supportive space for youth to talk about gender, sexuality, and what's going on in their lives. It's open to youth ages 11 through 18 and held at the library on Tuesdays between 3 and 4:30 p.m. Then from 6 to 7 p.m. it's the November Drive-Through STEM Sticklight. So that's the program. Yeah, right. That's the project for this month. They're creating stick lights, and you drive through if you've registered for the program. If not, you can register through the library's website or by calling the library. But it's one of the pickup programs, if you will. You drive by the library between 6 and 7 p.m. on the 15th and pick up your creation kit, and then you make your creation kit at home with an online video tutorial provided by the library. Moving on to Wednesday, November 16th, and boy, this month is flying by. We have several programs to bring to your attention. The first is Miss Sue's Preschool Storytime, which runs from 10 to 10:30 a.m. and is held in the Children's Department at the library. Then from 1 to 3 p.m. it's the weekly Mahjong session, held in the reading room at the library. And from 3 to 4:30 p.m. we've got Atlas, which stands for At the Library After School. There'll be some kind of craft, and it's a get-together program. So if you're done with your school day, or youth in your household are, and they have a little bit of energy and want to get together and do something, you'll want to join Kayla Crane, your host for this program. Registration is not required, by the way, just show up. And then in the evening, from 6 to 8 p.m., we've got Courting Adult Writers Group, which is a hybrid program held both at the library in person and via Zoom. On Thursday, November 17th, we've got two programs in Library Land, kicking things off with Coffee, Tea, and English Book Club from 10 to 11:30 a.m. This is a hybrid program held both at the library and online via Zoom. Then from noon to 1:30 p.m. it's the Scratch Coding Club. This program is held at the library, and Scratch is a program from MIT created for those wishing to learn how to program. So you'll be joining the Young Adult Services Coordinator, Kayla Crane, to learn about Scratch. And there are future dates listed at the bottom of the screen here. October 20th was one, November 17th is this one, December 8th is the next one, and then there will be some classes in 2023, which is quickly approaching. On Friday, November 18th, we've got two items to bring to your attention. The first is the debut of the new episode of Library Connections, which will make its debut at 1 p.m. You can access it on Facebook or YouTube. Then from 4 to 6:30 p.m. we've got Teen Dungeons and Dragons, and this program is led by Dungeon Master Jason, and the gathering is suitable for ages 13 through 17. This is a repeating program, so it's part of a series, and teens can come to any one of the programs or all of them, whichever they prefer. Finally, on Saturday, November 19th, we've got the Mini Maker Drop-In Project between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. And it is what it sounds like. You don't have to come for the whole time. You just drop in to create the project of the month. It's a simple craft, and then you take it home. So if you have questions about this, contact Sue McConnell at the library. She will be your hostess. Or you can shoot her an email and ask questions that way. And briefly, here are our library programs contacts. And that's the program for this week. I'll be back next week with a new edition of Library Connections. Have a great week.